previous video I did today that mentioned a person named Julian Powell. Julian Powell posted some photos on Google Photos for maps at or near and or supposedly 15 hours from the location of the Delphi murders. And then we have people claiming this or this. And there's also a Reddit thread on a phone interview supposedly with the same Julian Powell. Now, I'm not going to cover any of the veracity of that. I'm going to do archiving the hard way. If you're not aware of it, you can archive an individual street view in Google Street Views in some cases. You have to use the older version that disables all the extra features. And somebody did that at least once and could have done it multiple times if they'd put the effort in. And here's your data. The first page here is some people spelunking for data on the internet and finding Julian Powell's Google.com Maps contributor, string of characters contribute, and then you put in the GPS. That gives you enough to be able to chunk up archives of this if it existed. Unfortunately, Google in their infinite stupidity have basically shit-canned being able to do this. Here's one of the screenshotted images, and it was one of many images from the Mononhai Bridge Trail, and specifically on the bridge. And it may or may not have been shifted offset. Nobody zoomed in down here like you're supposed to confirm this, where it might have actually said it was way off in an edge someplace. One of the links actually points to it being about a quarter mile away. And this was taken on February 2017. Doesn't have the time and date stamp? Well, let's continue. This is another image of supposed to be the same person with a Google hat holding what would be a 360 camera to do this. I'm pretty sure this is one of a couple of images I saw. You can also notice the temperature is cold. It's covered with snow or ice. So, February 2017. Here we go. Here we are with a live archived copy. Google.com Maps, and then you put in the GPS location for anywhere that you saw on any of those screens, and you leave it blank afterwards with an asterisk. And depending on where you're looking, whether it's Archive Today or archive.org, it may contain a copy of it if somebody saw it. This is literally how you do it. You just dump it into Archiver and hope that it works. And this is a picture from just under the bridge, and this was February 2017. And it was a 360 view. This is just one grab of it, maybe, or it may not have been a 360 view. It doesn't matter. It's just a photo. But the point is that here, right there, if you look at the lower left-hand side of the screen, maps.google.com/maps-contrib, and it's 1060.05, yada, yada, ending in 73. Now I'm going to go back a bit. And that mentions it right here. Yeah, it's the same one. Now, the information on this page doesn't work anymore. It's been blacked out. Google went through and erased every bit of any useful information in the area. Because, of course, they did. And some of us, people like me, in fact, archived these 360 views. I didn't archive this one. I did archive this one that was on the bridge. But unless you know the exact GPS location that was used, it's hard to find the archives of it. I'm sorry, I don't know if I have them anymore. And if I have any YouTube videos that mention this or any of the other images, I'll have archived it. So anyway, except for one person who archived it, thank you very much for using Archive Today, which does an excellent job grabbing these images. Except for these archives, we don't have this data anymore. So we now have one more. Julian Powell took this image February 2017, and most of them point to this location here. Not the Mononhai Bridge, but the Freedom Bridge in Delphi, Indiana, which is subject to people making that mistake because it's visible from the road. The actual bridge that we're talking about is over here, way over here, past a bend or two, nowhere near a road really, not really anyway. And if you go down here, again, we don't have our Google Maps and Street Views that work. And if you use Google Earth, you can find some of these contributor images still existent. This is me getting into an archive of it on the Wayback Machine. Now, this is his contributor photos, not anything else. And I had to go here and right-click and hit inspect element, and then disable a bunch of overlays and stoppers that are there to prevent me from being able to view the page without dealing with a "are you sure" and "would you like to log in" interrupt. Anyway, there's one here, and then there's one that was taken in 2019. This is the one that was done in 2016. And you can see he's got the foot care place in Greater Lafayette, Subaru, Indiana, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, KFC, generic photos and stuff that would be added to the maps at the time. And if you wanted to see his profile, you could right-click here, but if you do that, it will not go there because it does some sort of obfuscation because Google's all about protecting people from being found. Anyway, let's go on. And here we are again. And by the way, that editing and BS was done in 2016. Google has been doing this for a long time. So anyway, we have something from the fireside. Edwin Jones, Logansport, Martin's Supermarket, Logansport Fire Department, Uno Pizza Sandwich Shop. There was at one time a lot of data here to work with, and you could have seen the person's profile. And if Google didn't make it really difficult to do every bit of this for some ungodly reason, we would be able to keep doing this. We could look at this stuff and see what's going on. But because that information has been shit-canned, and because this person's name, Julian Powell, which is not a very unusual name, has been convoluted with somebody else that's supposed to be someone on a phone giving an interview who apparently sounds like a mental case. That's other people's review, not mine. This person named Julian Powell, I'm not including the middle name, who posted some images to Google Maps that were useful, that were erased by Google, is now on the list of people that are Google sleuth persons of interest or not. Now, remember, there's a lot of people named Julian Powell. Like, literally, look up the name. You're going to find way too many of them. That's why this is a needle in the haystack thing. And a Julian Powell may or may not have taken photos supposedly 15 hours before or after the Delphi murders. A lot of people went out there and tried to get images in the area to put them on Google Maps to try to help. During the period of time they were missing the girls. This was the area where people heard that the kids were gone. So they went out and did Google Street Views everywhere to help people figure out where they'd gone. This could have been a person posting that image before, or just wandering through doing it days before anything happened, or days later trying to help. Or it could have been somebody who's quote-unquote guilty because they had images up. Really? Really? And then person's posting, this is what I read. This person removed EXIF data from their photos. Okay, but the GPS was included. What you do know that some cameras don't include all of the other data. And the people who are saying that aren't specifying anything. Okay, now let me get something straight with everybody. People who investigate the Delphi murders are notorious, infamous, almost like a goddamn running joke of accusing their next door neighbors of being bridge guy. And you wonder why somebody who's been named and shamed, even though it's a generic name, for maybe just trying to help people figure out where the girls have been gone or help find the killer. You wonder why somebody might look at this and say, wow, I'm being targeted by a mob on the internet. Maybe I'll delete my online presence so I don't get tracked down. And what happened is, and if you want to go through and look at all of the 4chan knuckleheads and others, you can find other people literally tracking this person down and then finding their phone number and harassing them for maybe taking a photo days earlier or weeks earlier, or maybe taking it because the girls were missing and putting up images so people could help figure out maybe where they were, or maybe figure out who the killer was after their bodies were found. If anybody's curious, I've been accused of being bridge guy. I'm not shitting you. I really have. Because there's a picture on the net of me wearing a stuffy, fluffy overcoat and a completely unrelated hat. But that's something that someone did so that they could sick a mob on me. It didn't last very long. It was about 24 hours. It wasn't hellish, but I don't know how I would react if that was done to me and all I did was put up a couple of photos on YouTube or on Google Maps. I put videos up. I get threatened all the time. This could be a person who's not used to this. Meanwhile, there's a Reddit thread of a phone interview supposedly with the same person. Okay. And many of the people are saying, oh, the walls are closing in. We're coming to get you. And you wonder why somebody would maybe contact Google and say, remove all of my content. Maybe had a lawyer do it. So yeah, the tradition on the internet of contrarians basically ruining someone's life because they contradict them in a YouTube comment section by sicking a mob on them. You don't believe that happens? If you've been looking into the Delphi murders, you've seen it happen and you know damn good and well it does. So, am I exonerating Julian Powell? Well, I'm exonerating every Julian Powell on the planet because the only connection this person had is they took photos on specific time and date stamps. And because the information was redacted again and again and again, I have to point this out, because Google and everybody else freaking erases shit. We don't get facts that would implicate or exonerate. We get nothing but questions and plausible deniability by people who want to threaten you by accusing you of being a bridge guy because you contradicted their stupid theory on YouTube. This guy just posted some images from the area and may have done it trying to help. Now, am I going to get shit for this? I don't know. Is this person supposed to get any shit for this? No. Next, this person will have a private image archive that is the same 360 images and all the other images that were used. I've asked people this before. If you know of somebody who had photos on Google Maps and Google Street View, they still own and control those images. They're allowed to post them someplace else or even post them through Google. Most of them are imaged in your Google Photos and image area that's been renamed 10 times. So maybe I should post a video so that Julian Powell can retrieve those images and submit them. Some of them, if they're 360, can be viewed in a proper viewer. Some of the viewers are completely free. Some of them are web-based. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And no, I don't believe this individual should be a person of interest unless someone posts an actual real fact why. And it's not related in any way, shape, or form to a YouTube channel that I just discussed. Good day.